Hi, my name is Justin Latimer, and I'm going to show you a Medieval 2 Total War battle replay. Last one I did was Spain versus the Scots, so now I'm going to do a fun battle for you, Mongols versus Spain. The Mongols are probably one of my favorite factions, so I need to use them every now and then. It's too bad you couldn't play them in the original Medieval Total War game.
Warriors, await my command!
And so here we are, playing as the Mongols. The battle map is Scorpion's Paradise. My opponent has chosen Spain, which I think is a good choice for fighting the Mongols. I've chosen light lancers, which are some of the cheaper melee cavalry for the Mongols. Used well, they should be as good as anything. They have good charge and they're pretty quick moving. My general is also with them. Looks just like the Islamic faction's generals, which is pretty strange considering the way the Mongol units sound. The original Medieval Total War was divided up into eras. You could play early medieval, or you could play middle or late. If they remake this game, I hope they do that again, because I would really like if they made a playable campaign where you could play as the Mongols. This is a rocket launcher. It's similar to a Korean hwacha, and what it is just a whole bunch of arrows which are jammed into this box, and the explosives go off and they send off the arrows. Looks like we're about ready to fire too. I'm gonna go ahead and march up my army. As I'm firing from this ridge, I'm not worried about hitting my army. Oh, that's just fun. Who needs a cannon when you have that? Here's some of my other cavalry. Mongol heavy archers. Excellent horse archer unit. Some of the best in the game, naturally. My opponent's brought some cannon. It's a smart investment for him, considering I brought the dreaded rocket launcher. My infantry, of course, is composed of 4 units of these heavy lancers, dismounted heavy lancers. Behind them, I have 4 units of Mongol infantry. These guys have long-range bows and swords. Very versatile infantry. See here, my rockets are doing havoc on these musketeers. As are all my arrows. Why I said Spain was a good choice for fighting the Mongols, though, is they do get these long-range musketeers. But these aren't musketeers, these are arquebusiers, which are a bad unit to bring to fight the Mongols, actually. Yeah, my opponent has brought cheap arquebusiers instead of musketeers. He's charged me with his cavalry. I countercharged with my own. Merchant cavalry militia, a very cheap unit. You can see their routing. Unable to reach my rocket launcher, which I believe was their main objective. So I've lost very few men in that attack. It's really easy to beat merchant cavalry militia. He's isolated these arquebusiers out here. He's brought a ton of them, but they're not a very good unit. Some of the merchant cavalry militia has reformed. I no longer have any rockets. They get close and then they retreat. Probably a pretty smart decision considering the Mongolians were renowned as being some of the greatest cavalry in the world. And here they are, they get a charge up against my Mongolian infantry from the back. Quite bad for me. I get down to 30 men, 29. 27, and then they rout the merchant cavalry militia. I'm able to send some of my spears back to help scare these guys off. That unit of Mongolian infantry went down to 23. So that's a small mistake on my part. My Mongolian horse archers are in Canterbury circle to keep them alive longer. I don't want to just have them stand still and get shot. I've done a charge here with my Mongolian heavy archers against swordsman militia. Swordsman militia being a very cheap sword unit. He managed to defeat my depleted unit of Mongolian heavy horse archers. I'm gonna countercharge with my cavalry, because the swordsmen are no longer protected by the other units. And my Mongolian heavy horse archers are gonna charge in against this other unit. He sends out more swordsmen.
We need to act.
And after this foray, they're at least alive. Had I wanted to, I probably could have crushed them too. I'm now marching up my infantry. And I got after that unit of swordsmen that came out earlier. It's already depleted quite a bit. It's down to 35, 33, 28. These tercio pikemen are quite intimidating for a Mongolian player. If used well, they could be used to great extent against my cavalry. My spearmen are still doing pretty well. We've got quite a few numbers. I'm gonna try to get around the flank with my cavalry. Shouldn't be a surprise that a Mongolian strategy is gonna rely heavily on cavalry. I definitely could have hit the sides of the enemy pikemen better. That poor guy. My Mongolian heavy horse archers are attacking the enemy cannon. It can no longer fire right now as it's defending itself. My cavalry are wrapping around the enemy's back. What I'm doing with my cavalry is I'm charging away and then I'm charging back into battle. I'm pulling my Mongolian heavy horse archers out of the battle they were in. I'm going to use them with the rest of my cavalry.
Through our fate, we have lost half our warriors. Our men have slain the enemy general. That coward
my horse archers. The charge against the back of the tercio pikemen has done a lot of damage, and what I used was my horse archers to do so. Shows the benefits of having a highly mobile, flexible army. I am sure that my dismounted heavy lancers are relieved to see the cavalry coming. This unit of tercio pikemen has made a pretty serious mistake. Its back is facing me. They've turned around. I'm now using my Mongolian infantry in this fight as well. They'll be fighting with their swords. Quite versatile troops. Very useful to have. They look cool too. And that's what counts. You can see I'm doing quite a bit of damage on the flanks. The inflexible pike formation is not really holding up well against my flanking maneuvers. My cavalry have hit more tercio pikemen in the back. And I believe we're going to see some familiar enemies. The militia cavalry have reformed. And there are a few arquebusters here. You can see that we've entirely switched places from where we started. My opponent charges against these Mongolian infantry. They're not able to do much, and my cavalry are able to support the infantry very well. I rout the merchant cavalry militia. All that's left is to do so with these arquebusters as well.
Fighting like old women. See how our foe hovers around victory like a bee around a blossom. Great victories like this go to only the greatest of men.
And there we are. Victory for the Mongolians on Scorpion's Paradise. So I deployed 681 men, and my opponent Timoros deployed 1,006. Men lost, I lost 361 troops. He lost 920. Men remaining, 320 for me, 86 for my opponent. I killed 694 men, captured 222, and my opponent killed 412. My bodyguard took down 29 men. Mongolian light lancers took down 86. One unit of my Mongolian light lancers took down 100. Mongolian heavy archers 31, which is probably the unit that I ended up losing. The second unit of Mongolian heavy archers took 156 kills, which is the single best unit of the game. Dismounted heavy lancers 26 and 29, so my spears did pretty competently. Another got 38. Mongolian infantry 41, very good. 16, 52, very good. 42, also very good. And my rocket launcher was able to take down 46. My opponent could have done a few things better. What he did, his build strategy is he had built an army which was very large. It was relying on its numbers, and it was largely cheaper units. The only elite unit he had brought was the Tercio pikemen. Also, the revolt he had brought, I would consider that to be a waste. It would have been a lot better to have had muskets than a revolt. The cannons he brought were not a bad idea, and he placed them well. They annoyed me throughout the battle. And I'm actually really glad that he did bring some cannon, because otherwise I'd feel like I was cheating because I had brought the rocket launcher. But a few things to point out about the rocket launcher is that it's not... I wouldn't consider it to be an overpowered weapon, because it only has a few volleys. And after he gets rid of those, it's no longer useful, it just sits here. Overall, my strategy had to depend on my infantry and my cavalry working together, and that's what happened. My army was a lot more elite than my opponent's, and I believe that's probably what largely contributed to my victory, as well as the fact that I had to take the initiative and my opponent did not leave the deployment zone. He just stayed here and waited for me to come to him. Good game to my opponent. Thank you for watching. I will have more videos for you soon.